Hi there and welcome to your yoga class. Today we are doing the crown chakra, chakra number 7, right up on the top of our head. So we're going to begin today by lying down in Shavasana. Not often we do Shavasana at the beginning, but it's really useful for setting your intention for your practice and just settling yourself. The crown chakra is all about kind of turning inwards and having a wee bit of presence about you and stillness as well. So really nice to start off with your Shavasana. So just gently let your body relax on the floor, settling down, your feet about mat width apart, thereabouts as wide as you like, and the top of your hands on the floor as well. And just try to relax as much as you can, setting your intention for your practice, whether you want to feel more energized, whether you want to feel a little bit quieter, stronger. It doesn't matter what it is. It's always good to set an intention for the practice ahead. So just for the next few minutes, just take your time, check in with your body, ready to start moving. So let's start thinking about coming back into the room after your nice relaxation, and we're going to start off by bringing our right knee into our belly. Just as much as you can hold on to the back of your thigh, your knee. Give your ankle a little bit of a circle there as well. And then we're going to take the right knee with the left hand and go into a nice gentle twist. So just guide it over to the other side of your body. Now keep your shoulder blades on the floor. Doesn't matter how far your knee comes over, as long as you're getting that lovely twist in your torso. So remember, shoulder blades are key. Then we're going to straighten up that right leg. Now you can hold on to the back of the thigh if you want, but keep the heel flex pointing up to the ceiling. You can use a strap for this as well if you like, around your toes, just stretching it out. And let's go on and do the same to the other side. So left knee into the chest. That's it, hugging it in nice and tight. You can circle the ankle again if you wish, always optional. But you're just starting to open up the hips, keeping it nice and quiet. And then once we've stretched off that hip, we're going to go into that twist again. So your right hand comes in your left knee, gently guide your knee over. And if you want to just ramp this one up a wee bit, you can straighten that top leg as well. But bear in mind, it's the beginning of your practice. Don't be too enthusiastic. Let your body just go up the gears and get nice and warm. And then coming back round again and straightening our legs again, holding on to that leg if you want to. Now, when I say straightening your legs, it doesn't need to be poker straight. So just as straight as you can get it. Okay. And then what we're going to do is bring both our knees into our chest here. Bring your head up as well if you want to. So you can get the full range of the spine in. You can also give a wee rock side to side. And then just lying back out again. Let's have a full stretch. Point your toes, point your fingers, stretch out that whole body. And then we're going to rock up or sit up, cross the legs, and then coming onto your hands and your knees. We're going to do a few cat-cows. It's really nice for warming everything up. So start with a nice neutral spine, and then tummy to the floor, head up. So exhale on the way down the head, inhale on the way up. And the shoulders and back gets pressed up to the floor when we're in cow, and the tummy gets pressed towards the floor in cat. So just go at your own pace doing these cat-cows, trying to get your breath in time with your movement. So from here, just bring your bottom back to your heels, hands next to your feet, curl up in child's pose just for a wee second or two. We don't want to stay here too long and fall asleep, but just do pause there, close your eyes if you want to. And from here, we are going to tuck our toes and come up to a downward dog. So it's your first downward dog, remember, so just bend in those knees if you need to stretch the opposite leg. Bend in both knees if you need to, and the heels do not need to come to the floor. Press your chest back to your thighs, and bending the knees can actually help you get a really nice straight back. So just give your body time to warm up, okay, and get used to doing the practice. So let's walk up to our hands here. Have your feet hip width apart, bend your knees as much as you need to, then let's come into a ragdoll pose. Hang there in whichever fashion you like, but as long as you're nice and loose, and then really slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. So we're going to stand in mountain pose here. I'm going to vary this mountain pose a little bit. We are going to lean forward really subtly. Did you see that there? We're going to lean forward, and then we're going to lean back a little bit, then over to the right and over to the left. Very subtle movements. So it's all about weight distribution on your feet. Keep those feet flat on the floor. Lean back a little bit. Lean to the right and lean to the left as well. This is really nice for feeling grounded for when you come back to the beginning again. So we're doing it 3 times in total, and it's just a sort of gentle swaying backwards and forwards. And of course, don't go too far in any direction. We don't want you falling over, but it's just more so that you can feel your weight distribution. And then we're going to lift our hands up, folding forward from the hips. You can bend those knees as well. Nice halfway lift before planting your hands, and let's step back to plank pose. Pop the knees down if you need to, but we're going to come to the floor, come to an upward dog or a cobra, tuck the toes, and we're back up into downward dog again. Nice big stretch out. Okay, wrapping the shoulders round, your feet are hip width apart, your hands are shoulder width apart. And then we're going to lift the left leg up in the air, really stretch out, and let's see if we can get as far as you can between your hands. You don't need to get there, and I want to just lift it forward. Pausing in our low lunge position just for a second. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come up to a warrior 3. So just hopping up now, your heel doesn't need to come up to, that parallel position. You can have it just a wee bit off the floor. And you can keep your hands on the floor as well. Now if you can, we're going to come up to a tree pose now. So by all means put your foot down and you can come up to the tree pose, foot right up, or you can have it on your calf, okay, or your heel across your foot as well. And another option is just circling your arms, inhaling with your hands up and exhaling hands into prayer position. So there's always options, okay. So from here back to mountain pose, and then stepping out to the right, and here we have a nice star position. Really stretch those fingers out, feet are about leg length apart or thereabouts. Now turn your toes out a little bit and let's squat down. We're going to come into goddess pose, so bring that bottom down as far as you can. Cactus arms, try and have the elbows up, and if you'd like to just add in a wee pulse or two, just a couple of inches of a pulse. Straightening up the legs again, keeping those cactus arms up, and then coming down into our squat again. And again, the pulse is optional, or you can just stay stationary in the squat. Last time, just coming down, and all the time your elbows and hands are up, switching those shoulders on. So let's put our hands in our waist now. Put your feet pointing forward now, very important. Lengthen the spine, and let's fold forward as much as you can. Okay, if you want to, you can put your hands on the floor, straighten the spine, and then fold a little bit further if you want. Or you can have your hands in your legs, or you can just keep them on your hips. Feeling the big stretch up the back of those legs. So let's inhale, look up. We're going to exhale, put our hands on our waist, and then inhale, pushing into those feet and coming up. Let's step up to the front of the mat again. Raise our hands up in an upward salute. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We're going to plant our hands, stepping back to our plank pose. Remember, knees can go down, lowering down and coming up to upward dog or cobra. And then our downward dog again, just for a couple of wee breaths, and always pedaling it out if you need to. So now the right leg comes up in three-legged dog, and we're going to step it forward again into that low lunge. So again, lift it forward if you need to, and we're going to put the weight in that right foot again. So really bend the back leg here, and then just lift it up. So your hands can stay on the floor if you want, or you can come up into a full warrior 3 if you want to. The standing leg can be bent. Try and straighten as much as you can, but it can be bent. And then we're going to come straight up into tree pose. So of course, putting your foot down if you need to in between times, and remember that foot can go in the calf or on the top of the foot as well, and we can do our lovely wee hand circles as well if we want to. Inhaling with our hands coming up in a circle, exhaling back, palms together. So once you've done your 3 of them, we're going to step out to the other side now into your lovely star pose. Okay, Then pointing your feet out, squatting down into our goddess pose, nice straight back. And again, doing either 3 static holds of goddess or pulsing, but coming back up in between each one and keeping those hands and elbows up in between each one as well. Then as before, hands on our hips, and we're going to fold forward. Hands on the floor, hands on the legs, wherever you need it to be. And remembering those wee knees can be bent as well if you need. So slowly coming back up to standing and step or walk to the back to the front of the mat. Let's raise our hands up again and then exhale on a forward fold. Do our halfway lift again, nice straight spine, and then jumping or stepping back with your right foot this time, so keep that left knee bent. Lower the hips, that's it. And then let's turn that right toe out a bit, plant the foot, and let's come up to warrior two. So the front knee is bent. Hips are to the side and we're looking along our arm at the front. Coming into a deeper bend if you need to as well. Tailbone dropping, shoulder blades sliding down your back, nice and relaxed in your warrior two. Now straighten our front leg. And we're going to point our hips forward now. So if you need to adjust that back foot, that's fine. But as long as your hips are pointed forward, and then let's hinge forward. Again, can be a small bend in the front knee. You can put your hands on the floor if you want to. You can fold a little bit further if you want to. Or you might just be hinged forward just a couple of inches in your pyramid pose. Big stretch up the front leg. So hands on the hip again. Coming back up to warrior two just briefly. And then cartwheel the hands down either side of the front foot. And let's step back to plank. And take your flow here. Chaturanga, cobra, downward dog, or you can always just go back to downward dog as well at the end if we're having a little vinyasa like that. So let's walk up to the hands again and forward fold. And then this time we're going to step back with the left foot. So same thing, just on the other side. Plant that left foot down, come up to warrior two. Torso nice and straight, don't let that front knee fall in, and bend into the front knee a little bit more if you can or want to. Okay, hips are slightly to the side here. Hands on your hips, then we're straightening the legs, turning the hips forward, watch that back knee, so turn the back foot if you need to, and hinging forward into pyramid pose on the other side. So again, coming back up, readjusting those feet to come back up to a warrior two. Just briefly, and then cartwheeling the hands back down again, stepping back with the right foot back into plank pose. Always knees can be down, remember. And take your flow, or you can simply go to a downward dog position if you want to. So we're going to come in now to a wide-kneed child's pose. So put your big toe together, knees out to the side of the mat, and stretch those hands out in front of you. And just breathe here, just for a few breaths. Let everything just stretch out. So coming up nice and slowly, let's tuck the toes, sit in the heels. We're going to clasp our hands behind our back and lift our chest up to the ceiling. So try not just push it out in front of you, lifting up the chest as well. And then sort of hold on to your feet. You're just going to come down, sort of in a child's pose, but try and get your crown of your head on the floor. And if you want to, you can lift your bum up as well into rabbit pose. See what's available to you here. Nothing should be sore, remember. Letting your spine get a lovely big stretch. So now we're going to stay on our knees, hold on to our biceps here and put your elbows on the floor. then clasp your hands. Okay, and this is the distance apart that your elbows should be. So what we're going to do now are some variations of dolphin pose. So we're going to just try to move forward, dipping our chin in front of our hands. Okay, that can be quite difficult, so just do what you can. If you can't get in front of your hands, that's absolutely fine. And then if you want to, for the next round, you can tuck your toes, knees off the ground, and still go dipping. Obviously a little bit harder because you're having to take some of the weight as well. Trying to do it 5 times each if you can. Then if you want to, take it a bit further, straighten those legs, and that will be the most challenging of them all. However, very, very good for strengthening your shoulders, your upper arms. So from here, just coming down into a child's pose, curling up into a little ball, forehead on the floor. And you can come up and do that dolphin pose again, static, if you want. You don't need to dip forward, or you can do a little headstand variation. So same thing with the elbows, hold on to your biceps, clasp your hands. And if you want to, what you can do is tuck the toes and just coming to bring your feet up. If you want to, you can take one foot off the ground at a time, just like this, not leaning on your head, leaning on your elbows, okay? And see if you can even bring both feet off the ground if you want to. But watch your neck. And just seeing if you can hold it there for a little second. So regardless of what variation you were doing, coming back into a child's pose again, this is the correct counter pose really for any sort of headstand or dolphin. Coming back in to a child's pose, letting everything just calm down after all that inversion. Just staying here for a few breaths. So slowly coming up from that child's pose. If you've got a strap handy, you can grab that. You can also use a jumper, a belt, anything that resembles a strap as well. It does not need to be a yoga strap. And what we're going to do is just pop it on the ball of our left foot. That's it, and just stretch the left leg whilst keeping the right leg nice and long. So we're going to stay here for quite a few breaths, okay? Not pulling too hard, but feeling a definite stretch. So from here, we're then going to open the leg out. So let your leg open right out to the left, just as how far it's going to go. Don't twist your body or anything like that. And feel that big, big hip opening. And again, staying here for a few breaths. Okay, not coming out of it too quickly. So slowly bringing that foot back up. Let that one come down, and of course we'll do the other side. And remember, you can have your knee as bent as you need to have it here. You can have the strap as loose as you need to have it here. You don't have to have it poker straight, okay? So stay in here for a few breaths. And then the same as the other side, opening that leg out to the right. Doesn't matter how far it comes, as long as you're getting a nice hip opening in there. So bringing it back up, taking your foot out and then bringing both your knees into your chest. So a few big stretches there, and by waiting there for a little bit longer, a wee bit more breath, it allows the stretch to penetrate that little bit deeper. So let's put our feet together now, let our knees come out to the side in our recline butterfly pose. You can pop your hand in your stomach and one in your heart if you want, or just have your hands on the floor. But just let your hips open up. If you find that quite stretchy, you can also put blocks under your knees as well. But try and just be as relaxed as possible. And again, here for a few breaths. And then it's time to fully relax in our Shavasana, just like we did at the beginning, with more of a restful focus this time. Feet nice and relaxed, hands out to the side of the mat. And just check in with yourself how you feel after your practice today in comparison to how you wanted to feel after your practice today. And just try not to let your mind wander, but feeling your body relax into the mat and gaining all the benefits from your yoga practice today. So just for the next few minutes, just tuning out and letting your body just restore itself nice and quietly. So starting to let your awareness coming back into the room, maybe wiggling your toes and your fingers, having a stretch, bending your knees. There's no right or wrong way to do this. But rolling onto your side first, don't just sit up straight away, trying to keep with you that nice restful feeling, nice calm feeling that you've got. Slowly coming up to sit with your legs crossed and your hands at your heart. But just sit for a wee second, just settle yourself. And then bringing your hands together, we're going to finish with a namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for your crown chakra class. I hope you enjoyed that and I hope you benefit from it. And please do come back soon for more classes, of course. And if you've any feedback at all, just please send me a message and I'll see you soon.